I recently did a few playthroughs of Scarlet and Violet, and for one of them, I did a full Psychic team. And that experience was actually a lot of fun. I also did another one as well, with some of the new Paldean Pokemon I haven't really used at all, or at most, slightly. Considering we're around 6 months away before the DLC for Scarlet and Violet arrive, I thought it'd be cool to do some more Scarlet and Violet content to kick off June, to kind of get ourselves hyped up for the DLC. This new team was a lot of fun to use, and it has a mixture of power and mons that you might not have expected me to use. Also note that I wasn't trying to make a best team or anything like that. I just wanted to bring some interesting mons together, and this team is in no particular order. Anywho though, let's hop into the team. So for this playthrough, I decided to be a little different and not choose a starter Pokemon. I'm honestly not huge on Quaquaval, and I've used Skeledirge and Meowscarada already. And of course, I love them both. But the first Pokemon I decided on was Skovillain. Skovillain has the dope typing of Grass and Fire, and these two typings together wreak a lot of havoc across Paldea. I found my Capsakid in the Asado Desert just hanging around in the desert heat. Once it evolved, it got 108 base attack and special attack, so I pretty much ran it however I saw fit. Its coverage pull has 3 great moves, in Crunch, Stomping Tantrum, and Zen Headbutt. So while not the widest move pool in the world, it's still relatively effective. I'm pretty happy that we got a Pepper Pokemon with this type combo, because it's one of these mons I was hoping for a long time. I'll also admit, I wasn't 100% sold on it in the very beginning, but it grew on me the more I've used it. I would deem it a pretty underrated fire type, to be honest with you. The next mon I actually used on my Psychic team, and I decided to bring it back for a second round, Gardevoir. Gardevoir is an incredible Pokemon. I'm freaking kidding, guys. The Pokemon I used was Espathra. Espathra gives me huge Sigilith vibes, and I really appreciate its design because of that. Outside of its design though, this thing is a huge monster with its hidden ability Speed Boost. Like, holy crap. I didn't use its hidden ability during my playthrough, but regardless, this thing shreds. And with already having a base 105 speed, geez man. I'd say what really inspired me to using it was definitely because of Tulip and Geeta having one on their teams. It was one of those new Pokemon where I just thought, super interesting design. I want to try you out. With 105 speed, 101 special attack, and a huge coverage pool, it was able to dent so many of Paldea's important battles with little to no issue at all. I found myself running Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Stab Psychic, and Energy Ball. It also gets access to Flash Cannon too. I'll admit too, in the beginning when I saw Flittle flying around in the beginning of the game, during Scarlet and Violet's release, like in my first ever run of the game, I originally thought nothing of it and I skipped over it. But of course, over the course of a couple months, I learned more about it, and I'm glad I picked it up. I honestly have no regrets. Its design is great, and it's got very desirable offensive Psychic type prowess. Up third is one that's really gonna throw you all for a loop. This mon isn't a Paldean mon, but it's a mon I've rarely ever used, if not ever used at all, being Zangoose. What made me want to use Zangoose, you might ask? Honestly, I just saw it at South Province Area 5 randomly pop up. And shockingly, it's a 1% encounter rate, so I got really lucky when I first set my eyes on it. Zangoose is actually kind of underrated, especially for in-game means. 90 base speed, 115 attack, and the typical great coverage you would expect your typical normal type to have. I've always never really used Zangoose, mainly because of its version exclusivity. So it was nice to see Zangoose not being that way for a change. It also really hasn't been relevant since Gen 6, so it's been a long time coming. I know you can find it in Brilliant Diamond, but I would have never thought to have used it for the Sinnoh remakes. I will say, I had a blast using this forgotten Pokemon, and it was fun to use when battling Atticus as well, because he wasn't able to poison it. It performed pretty well against him too. It actually performed pretty well across the board, all things considered. If you guys have never used Zangoose before, use it. It's a fun experience, especially given all the coverage you can utilize. The fourth mon is a repeating mon for my original Violet team, being Clodsire. Come on. This is one of Paldea's most beloved Pokemon. Even people who don't like Scarlet and Violet love Clodsire. It's just freaking adorable. I mean, how could you not love this face? But yeah, I've used Clodsire before, clearly, and I had a blast using it again. You can find Paldean Wooper super early in South Province Area 1, and it was actually the first Pokemon that I caught. It came in handy during a plethora of battles whenever I brought it out, and it went to town whenever it was needed. I can go on and on about why I love Clodsire so much, and why all of you probably love it for the same reasons. However, what prompted me to use it was actually because of raids. How about those 6-star Clodsire raids with Unaware? I lost some raids attempting to capture an Unaware Clodsire, especially one with the Dragon Terra typing. I got smacked a bit. Even though my Clodsire for my playthrough didn't have Unaware, the Unaware Clodsire during raids gave me inspiration to use it once again. Water Absorb though is still really good. The penultimate Pokemon on my team was one that I had been planning on using for a while, but I didn't until recently, being Mabosstiff. Playing through the games again and seeing Arven nurse his pal back to fighting Spirit inspired me to use one myself. Design-wise, I'm not absolutely huge on it, but Arven convinced me otherwise. I also wanted to use a dark type, and felt this one could be a pretty fun option. It was a good choice. I found a Mabosstiff pretty early in the game at South Province Area 2, and it evolved pretty quickly, being at level 30. Mabosstiff helped me out a lot against Rhyme, and was able to get Intimidate off under physical attackers. I wish it had access to the Strong Jaw ability, because with access to all the elemental fangs, they would have done even heavier damage. Nonetheless though, its coverage pool is actually still pretty good with Play Rough as well. It has a check for pretty much everything, and that was one of the reasons why I also wanted to use it. On top of that, I had a dream that my Mabosstiff and Arven's could play together at a picnic. I really wish they would have made that a feature, but alas, I can only dream. The last Pokemon I decided on is actually Paldea's pseudo-legendary, Baxcalibur. The first time I found out about the Gen Pseudo wasn't actually until after I beat Violet for the first time. Upon finding out about it, I made my own and really enjoyed using it during raids and such. I wanted to give it a go during a playthrough, however, and despite it being a tad late, and like how most pseudos also evolve late, that actually didn't stop me from using it, and I enjoyed the experience nonetheless. The typing of Dragon Ice made it fun to use against Rika, Larry, and Hassel, and decimated them pretty easily, all things considered. Also for the lulz, I chose Fuecoco again. So, Nemona would actually have Meowscarada on her team. Baxcalibur handled her Meowscarada very well. Dragon Dance is also very fun to set up, and just watching Bax obliterate everything in its path was very satisfying to watch. Well, that wraps up my new team for Scarlet and Violet. What'd you guys think? Did you enjoy the team? Also, what new teams have you used since Scarlet and Violet have been out? Share them with me down in the comment section below. Also, once again, be on the lookout this June for more Scarlet and Violet content. We're going to be uploading 4 times a week starting today. So be on the lookout for more Scarlet and Violet content coming out this June. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching my content. With Scarlet and Violet DLC on the way, we have a lot to be excited for. Not just that though, but I've got a bunch of other cool series planned throughout the year that I'm sure you guys will love. If you want to support my other forms of content, over on Mystic Reads, I read fanfics. One of them right now is Road to be a Pokemon Master Kanto Edition, where Ash and Serena start from the very beginning and journey through Kanto together. On Mystic Umbreon Shorts, I do other exclusive Pokemon content such as Pokemon Facts, and on Saturdays I upload my top 5 favorite Pokemon of a type. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an excellent day.